Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Mondays with Mike, Halloween edition. I am joining you from the set of our new show called The Nightcap. See that right there, The Nightcap. And I'm here because it's just a very cozy place of the station. They've got the whole thing set up with couches, and there's actually a full bar over there too that I'm not going to visit. A little too early for that, but happy Halloween, everybody. Also, big night. The Astros are in Philadelphia for Game 3 of the World Series. The series is tied up 1-1, and there's actually a chance for some showers up there in Philadelphia for tonight's game. Of course, the game is on Fox 26. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. And if you're watching this late, coverage also begins on Tuesday at 5 p.m. And the game first pitch is at, I believe, 7:03. And so I have to tell you, it's a little bit iffy with the rain situation up there. I know baseball is, more than any other sport, is very sensitive to, not just atmospheric conditions like extreme heat, extreme cold, wind, things like that, but also obviously rain. And I think most of the time they'll play through some really light drizzle, but if it starts, if the rain starts coming down at any point, they'll probably clear the field and then wait for the rain to pass and then try to finish up the game. So I don't know if there are going to be any rain delays or at worst a postponement, but there is going to certainly be a risk because there's going to be rain in the area. Really divided time tonight, right? I'm sure a lot of you can agree that you've got trick-or-treating, you've got kids who want to go trick-or-treating, and you have the World Series going on. Now, I don't know about in your neighborhood, but in mine, in ours, most of the time, somebody, every few houses, somebody will have a TV set up in their driveway, so that everybody can watch the game as they're going around trick-or-treating, which works out really nice, I think. So that's how we're going to catch the game, at least the beginning of it, if we're out that late. Sometimes we're not even out that late. So let me know what you're dressing up as for Halloween. I want to share with you an outfit, a mask that my daughter picked out. So we went to Spirit Halloween as soon as it opened, and so I have three girls, and two of them are the big girls now. They're in high school, so they're dressing. The theme this year, the big thing that the kids, not just kids, but everybody is doing this year, is characters and obscure characters. So, I think one of my daughters is dressing up as a character from Gilmore Girls or something, and what they'll do is you find a friend, and maybe two or three of you go from some, as some group of people from a TV show or something or a movie, and most people won't necessarily recognize who you are, but the people who do watch the show will get a big kick out of it. You know what I mean? So it's it takes more creativity than just, dressing up like a ghost or something. Gosh, remember the old days where you used to just, dress up as a ghost and it was just easy. Now you got to get all creative. So anyway, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to put it on off camera. Keep in mind, my 11-year-old, beautiful, girly daughter picked this out. Okay, you ready? Okay, cover your eyes because it's scary. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Putting it on. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at this thing. Are you kidding me? And the mouth opens too, which is very, very disturbing. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's some sort of a bird or something. Here we go. Some sort of a bird or some sort of a monster. And there's blood on the beak, and the whole thing is just very, very disturbing. So, my beautiful little girls, some girls are going to be dressed as princesses. Some are going to be dressed as, a mermaid or a unicorn or something. Or maybe they're going to be dressed up as Wonder Woman. But this is what we're going with. So let me know what you think. Oh man, kind of hard to take off too. Now she's not going to be wearing a suit, obviously, a work suit. She's going to be. I got her like a black gown. Oh, which also we were at when we were at Spirit Halloween. They had, and I posted this on social media. I posted it on my Twitter feed, and it did not get nearly the number of like laughs and everything that it deserved, because there's a costume at Spirit Halloween that is called like just Blackout or something like that, and it's in the kids department, okay, and it is just head to toe black, cover everything, and so it made me think of this Saturday Night Live sketch, back when SNL was funny. This is from the 70s. I was a baby, but I've seen reruns. But it is Jane Curtin and Dan Aykroyd. And the bit is that Dan Aykroyd is a unscrupulous toy salesman, and he's selling dangerous toys to kids. And it's sort of like a expose that she's doing, like a 60 Minutes kind of interview. And so they have... one of them was like Little Johnny Space Cadet, and it was just literally like a plastic bag, which obviously is extremely dangerous. But one of them was called the Invisible Pedestrian. So raise your hand if you remember the Invisible Pedestrian. So, and it was, I think, as I remember, it was just a black outfit. And then now they actually have it. So now, like, whatever, 40 years later, or however many 40-something years later, somebody has actually come up with the idea of the Invisible Pedestrian, and they're actually selling it at the store, and somebody's actually dressing up as this child. You're dressing your child up as somebody who is completely invisible to traffic, to cars, trucks, bikes, other people walking. The whole thing is just an accident waiting to happen. So I don't know. It was like funny and scary at the same time. Funny and scary at the same time, I think. This morning on the news, I don't know if you were watching, but we're going to try to post a clip of it for the special that we're doing tonight before the baseball game, because it was hilarious. Like, Lena and I were dying. We almost could not speak, could not continue with the show. Sally McDonald is reporting live from Citizens Bank Field in Philly. And I think, so I tossed to her. So I did my weather, and then she was next. And so I said, oh, Sally is live up in Philadelphia, and there may be a few showers later. And, Sally, what's it like up there now, or whatever. And Sally's just standing there because she can't hear me. So then I'm kind of messing with her, because that's our sense of humor. I'm like, Sally, you're on. Hello, Sally. And she could barely hear me. And then there's this lawnmower guy, like the groundskeeper guy in the tractor, who's just behind her. And he's doing it on purpose. 100% on purpose. There's no way that he's not doing this on purpose. So poor Sally, she can't hear anything we're saying. And she's trying to do her best to report. Now, she doesn't know how much we are dying laughing at the station. I think and I experienced that on Friday, because I was at Minute Maid Park, and there was something similar that happened where there's this floor cleaner thing that's like a Zamboni that they clean like the concourse with. And the guy kept driving by. It was so loud. And so the anchors tossed to me out at Minute Maid Park, and I couldn't hear what was happening at all. And then the next thing I hear is one of the anchors talking, and I thought, oh, well, they must have killed my live shot because I was, it was too loud or something. And then I realized, no, I'm still on TV. That's a bad feeling when you don't know if you're on TV, because we don't have a monitor to show us, actually. And I'll go into that in a second. But anyway, it was so funny. And then we texted Sally right afterwards. We're like, oh my God, we're dying. We're deceased. This is so funny. And she says, well, what was funny? And then we had to try to explain to her via text how funny it was. So anyway, it was good times. Good times. So somebody's walking by and looking at me. Oh, so when you see a reporter out doing a live shot meaning anything outside the studio, 99 times out of 100, in fact, I don't think ever really, they're not going to have a monitor showing them live what's happening. You know, the anchor tossing to them live, them being able to see themselves live. And the reason for that is the switch over to high definition digital TV. See, in the old days when we used to broadcast in regular over-the-air signals, like I guess what you would call UHF, you know, Fox 26, you would either broadcast in VHF or UHF radio waves, and you would have just a regular TV monitor because it was all basically in real time. So you could just take an off-the-air signal. There was almost no delay, no noticeable delay, and so you could see when you were coming up, you could tell when you were on, you could tell if you weren't on, and it was great. And then when we did the transition to, I say we, like the TV business, the entirety of television, both TV news and otherwise, when we did the switch over to high definition television, you sent out a digital signal and you also had an analog signal. And then after a few years, they completely phased out the analog signal, and now we only send out a digital signal. And now, I'm not an engineer, but I don't know about all the processing that goes on it, but whatever it is, there's about a 4 to 5 second delay. So there's no point having a monitor up and seeing something that happened 5 seconds ago. It's just not in real time. So anyway, it's harder for people to do live reports now than it was years ago because you're disoriented. You know, all you're doing is looking at the camera and you don't really know what's happening. So like if this had happened, this incident, funny thing with Sally, if this had happened 15 years ago, then she would have looked in the TV screen and noticed that something's happening, that we're laughing, and she would have been able to join in. But now when you're kind of just hung out to dry in there, you don't know what's going on. So anyway, we're of course rooting for the Astros here, Game 3, if it happens. I also want to tell you this, and I'll leave you with this. Kind of a short Mondays with Mike today because I just had so much other stuff going on today. If, let me tell you about a catastrophe in television that might happen. If tonight's game gets postponed, let's just say there's a lot more rain than they thought, and tonight's game happens to get postponed. Well, what happens? Well, then you're still in Philadelphia Tuesday night. You play Game 3 on Tuesday night. You play Game 4 on Wednesday night. Then you would have to play Game 5 on Thursday night. Well, that's a big problem because the Texans are playing on Thursday night. And the reason that's a problem is that the Texans game is going to be broadcast on Amazon Prime, but since it's a local game for us, the NFL rules state that somebody has to broadcast it. And we, Fox 26, have the rights to broadcast the Texans game, or we're required to broadcast the Texans game. At the same time, we have the World Series, which, Game 5 of the World Series. You can't, and they're on at the same time, and we can't show them both at the same time. So I don't know what would happen. Let's just hope that doesn't happen because there are people going to be running around with their head on fire trying to figure out what to do. I would think maybe even Major League Baseball and the NFL would have to change. NFL, I think, might have to change their start time, somebody would have to do something because it would be just a disaster having the Astros playing and the Texans playing at the same time, both on Fox, which is impossible. So anyway, good times. Let the good times roll. So go Astros. I think we'll take it tonight. I think we have the momentum back. I think if we can get the bats going there with Altuve and start the game out like we did Game 2 with all those doubles and all of that, which was pretty amazing, then I think we have a good chance. I think we have a good shot. Hey, thanks for tuning in for this short version of Mondays with Mike this week. Go Astros, and I hope you all have a very happy and a very safe Halloween night.